Welcome back to another episode of Have You Heard, the podcast brought to you by us here at The Social Shepherds. I'm Jack, one of the co-founders here at The Social Shepherd, and for the first time, I'm joined by...
Jeremy.
And Hannah.
Lovely to have you guys on. This is obviously the podcast where we want you to subscribe to, because every week we put out stuff all about social. So if you work in digital, make sure to subscribe. So today we're going to be talking about a few different topics, as well as right at the end, we're also going to go into Kamala Harris's social strategy. Whilst we're not into politics, we have got some interesting points about her social strategy and how that's affecting things. But some of the updates which we're going to cover in today's episode, we've got Twitch Creator Club. It's a new thing launched by Twitch. TikTok withdraws TikTok Lite rewards from the EU. Some legal issues they're having there. Snapchat is on the rise again, which, Jeremy, I'm going to come to you on this one.
Brilliant.
Expect that one to come to you. And then YouTube is testing picture-in-picture ads for live streams. And finally, TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, has a new text-to-video AI generation tool, which I've got a few things to say about that. So I'm looking forward to going into that one. But first of all, up with Twitch Creator Club. So the Creator Club program is geared around helping streamers to find communities around their shared interests. Obviously, we know Twitch. It's a live streaming platform that has loads of different communities behind games, but even through to chess and poker and other bits and things like that, all the way through to just talking, isn't there, and live streams outside of gaming. But club members will have exclusive access to dedicated Discord server managed by Twitch staff, where they can connect with other creators and their community. Twitch will also organise club events, workshops, and solicit members' input for creator-led topics, events, and content. Before we got on to the podcast today, Jeremy said, I'm going to come to you as well now. You said you had a few thoughts on this one. Are you a Twitch user?
I have actually never been on Twitch,
Never.
to be completely
You
honest.
strike me as a bit of a gamer boy, though.
Do I?
Yeah,
Should I take this as a compliment?
I think so.
All right. I've actually never been on Twitch. Obviously, I've heard about it. I thought it'd be mainly for like streaming and gaming, that sort of stuff. So it's interesting to hear about these updates.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is a good thing in itself. And it'll be interesting to see where it goes, purely because normally you would think that creators would rely on their consumers to grow. Whereas here it's saying that if you have a pool of creators coming together, that's actually going to allow them to grow in better ways. An example of this is if we look on TikTok, we can see that certain creators, especially the ones that make like funny skits by themselves, when they then collaborate together, it has, I'd say, like a wider reach and more of an engagement, because you're bringing basically two fan bases together. I guess another example of that could be if we look at YouTube. The best example of that would be VidCon, where you have a bunch of creators. It's just for creators. It's not really for consumers coming together, but in itself, they are making content. Which promotes the platform and their content itself. Yeah.
I know on Twitch specifically, there's also a feature around when you're like ending a live stream, you can then pass it on, like your viewers on to someone else, I guess, whoever you choose. So they automatically redirects them to that live stream. And that's where there's some like discoverability in it. But I think, these platforms ultimately are to do with like connectivity and niche communities. It doesn't have to be something on a mass scale, but those sort of niche communities is really, really important. And creators as a whole, as we know, is like an industry that's like massively growing. More and more people are creating content, bring them together and helping them thrive as a part of that. Without creators, they've got no viewership and then can't run the ads to support their sort of revenue stream and business as a part of Twitch. So I think imagine all social platforms, and we see a lot of them do it, but building more and more tools for creators to support them and their growth, because I think Twitch especially is one of the hardest channels to grow. There's like so many people out there streaming with like less than 10 viewers, and they're stuck there for ages. Often they're using like platforms like TikTok to grow on, to then try and bring those viewers over to Twitch. But if they can keep that, I guess, connected as a part of Twitch community as a whole, then that could be a really big thing for them.
I think fair play for those who only stream with like 10 viewers and do it like day in, day out.
It is tough out there.
I don't know how like you do it, Jack.
Well, I've got a secret channel somewhere that none of you know about, and I'm not going to tell you what I stream about. So on to TikTok, and they have withdrawn the TikTok Lite rewards from the EU. I know this was specifically in and around France and some other European countries, but it was a way to incentivize users to spend more time in the app, whether liking content, viewing content, engaging in live streams, etc. So this program was first launched in France and Spain before the EU Commission flagged it and opened an investigation back in April. And they've actually concluded that the program is against the DSA, which is the Digital Services Act, and as TikTok now meant they have shut it down, unfortunately. Wow. So the Commission's core concern about the program is that it could contribute to app addiction, which is an interesting one. I'm sure many of us may already put our hands up and say they were addicted already, especially though amongst younger users, they were mainly concerned about to incentivize them to, engage and use TikTok more often than maybe they once would have done. And as such, this program could cause a systemic risk and is required to be resubmitted to the EU officials for assessment before any further implementation. There's so much legislation and things like that they have to keep an eye on, otherwise they're going to fall into more traps like this along the route. So on to the next one with Snapchat, and actually during their latest performance update for Q2 2024, they announced and reported that 850 million users on the platform that they have now, as well as 432 million daily active users. So Snapchat is back on the rise.
Guys, I think I actually predicted this in the, when we did I don't know if you were here, but we did the New Year's resolutions for social, and I did say Snapchat's going to blow up. But that does surprise me because I don't use Snapchat anymore.
Why do you think that? What was your reasoning behind Snapchat's growth?
I don't know. I feel like in the past, for my generation, you'd use it when we were when we were much younger to talk to friends and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Then as you get older, my friends use Messenger, but people move to WhatsApp and things like that. But I think now they do quite a lot of cool AR stuff, especially around the Olympics. So I think more and more people are kind of drawn to it. I mean, I might download it again. I don't know. Sounds kind of cool.
Jeremy, how do you use it? Are you a Snapchat user, or do you use it for Messenger? Do you use it for other things, or do you not?
What do you think I am, Jack? Do you think I use Snapchat?
I
heard rumours. Yeah. Got floated around in the office.
But
maybe it was wrong.
To be truthful, to be completely honest, I do have Snapchat on my phone.
Oh, really?
I do. I use it for a few different reasons. The first one is it's actually my main piece of communication with my cousin. Okay. So it's nice to get updates on her life because she sends me multiple Snapshots throughout the day. She's 7 years younger, so she's 19 years old. So they communicate on Snapchat.
In Switzerland,
is
Snapchat quite popular in Switzerland?
I would say so, because her and her friends are. I mean, I saw her last week and she's just on Snapchat all the time, so I would say so.
It's crazy, yeah.
And then funny enough, with my sister as well, we communicate on Snapchat. And then that is it. Other than that, I actually use it for the AI.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah, it's nice to just, instead of.
That's where I heard about you using it.
Yeah, it is actually really useful when you're trying to come up with certain ideas, or for me particularly, sometimes it's hard to rephrase things in my own way or in a different way. So what I'll do is, if I'm writing a specific email and I'm trying to express myself and I'm finding it hard to, I'll put my sentence in broken English into Snapchat, and then I'll say, please rephrase this. Oh, and weird thing I do, always ask it please. I don't know why. It's an error.
Please. Yeah. So obviously with this on Snapchat, from Q2 2023, there's been a 9% increase. So from 397 million daily active users to 432. So whilst this, seems very positive for Snapchat, and it's great to see that they're still growing, is, obviously the increase of 35 million daily active users across a year compared to maybe other platforms, can we consider this still quite small? It's obviously great growth, and I've just checked and we've seen that Meta has got, 3.27 billion people that use at least one of its products daily, which is insane. But they've only grown 7% versus the previous period versus June of 2023. So obviously 7% of 3.2 billion is much larger than 9% of 432. So it shows that whilst not growing as quickly, Meta, in terms of percentages, in terms of volume of people, it's still massively outweighing the likes of Snapchat. Moving on to YouTube. So YouTube is testing picture-in-picture ads for live streams. So what this is where creators, rather than having mid-roll ads that disrupt the flow of their live stream video, are actually going to be able to have a picture within their sort of live stream and display an ad format there. So what this is going to be able to do is help, creators and streamers generate more revenue from their smaller screen ads rather than disrupting the flow and maybe putting people off from continuing to watch their live stream. But one thing that I was initially thinking about this was, will it be potentially a cheaper form of advertising for marketers and brands? Because with mid-rolls and it being more disruptive, does that potentially mean you get a higher click-through rate and thus, spending more on that form of advertising? But with this, and it's more of an integrated piece, which might act more as a display type of ad rather than something that's disruptive, maybe this will actually be a cheaper form of advertising.
Yeah, I don't know if it would be as effective. I feel like it'd be less disruptive and like annoying as the viewer, but I don't know if I would pay as much attention to an ad if it was like in the corner than if I had to like stop and then watch it. I don't know.
I think for me, if I'm trying to enjoy a piece of content on YouTube and suddenly, even if it's like, as they say, seamless, as soon as something different pops up, that's where my intention is going to go to.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how seamless it's going to be, basically.
So ultimately, with these platforms like Google, Meta, TikTok, all they're looking to do is drive more revenue through, being able to increase their ad placements and drive more ads to users. Ultimately, they're looking to hit revenue targets. And so I think with this update, with the YouTube live stream picture-in-picture ads, is ultimately another placement for them to deliver ads to and allow advertisers as a space and another route to market towards people. So firstly, I was wondering, will this be a part of PMax coming up soon? So TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, has also expanded its offering. They have launched a new AI text-to-video generation tool. So much like Sora from OpenAI launched earlier this year, which sort of blew my mind and many other people's minds, ByteDance, TikTok's parent company, have done exactly the same and has launched just on the July 31st, only to Chinese users at the moment on Android, but hopefully to come to more of us soon. But my main thought here was, it's obviously owned by ByteDance, which owns TikTok. We know TikTok alongside maybe YouTube, probably close to it. But the volume of video content that gets uploaded to that platform is mind-boggling. Are they using that amount of video that's being uploaded to TikTok to train and, the AI modeling tool as a part of this, that, or are they keeping it completely separate as different entities and they've got their own modeling tools to be able to build out this tool? Or are they using TikTok video that all of us are uploading at the moment? I'm not too sure.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, I never thought about it like that, but that is quite a scary thought.
Because when you think like Google has YouTube, it has Google Photos as well. Yeah. It's got so much information that you can use to train these models. Is TikTok using the same? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's like, that reminds me of the, sometimes when you're trying to log on somewhere, you have to click all of the sidewalks or click all of the bicycles kind of thing. Yeah. That was done on purpose for like machine learning, so it could learn like what a bicycle looks like type of thing, because you've got so many users like doing it for you. So maybe it's something similar as that.
Yeah. I mean, it would make sense for me if they are using TikTok videos, but I guess with these like AI tools and text to video, when I was looking at Sora, it was very like high level of production. Can it learn based off what TikTok produces and the type of content, very much face to camera? But if you're trying to train it on something that's much more, elevated or higher production, and where it isn't so face to camera, speech led. Yeah. Is it
I think
not?
On TikTok, the majority is face on camera, but there is still quite a lot of high production stuff. I'm talking to myself, my For
like
You
branded
pages.
content as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm passionate about photography and videography, so naturally the people that I follow and the stuff that comes on my For You page is going to be high production based.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe it's learning from that, or maybe it has like a selective process of like that image is not, that lighting's not good enough, I can't use that, or that's good, I can use that.
Yeah, no, it'd be interesting to see.
How realistic do you guys think it will be though? Because even with some AI images, I think you can tell it's AI.
Yeah,
with the sixth finger or something like that.
But like, I think the only thing I've seen that was AI was that recent update with that woman's talking, and I was really shocked that was actually AI.
Creator,
but normally I think you can tell that it's AI, so it'll be interesting to see how realistic the actual videos are. What
I'm most looking forward to is the first like fully AI movie.
Yeah.
Where it has like a full cast of AI characters.
That kind of freaks me out.
I think that potentially could be like the biggest box office ever.
Yeah.
If it's good enough, obviously, as a quality of production and storytelling is obviously the biggest part. How well can that storytelling translate into an AI video? I'm sure that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's definitely
going to happen. But I think when it happens, it's going to save people a lot of money, but also means a lot of people are going to be out of jobs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, rip.
Well, yeah, and I guess it's going to come all that. Yeah, it might even use, I guess, almost like famous people or recognizable faces still as that character, but the requirement for them to be there and deliver the acting won't be there. But you'll be using that name and face.
Yeah.
But then how much?
Sorry, have you guys seen the recent update where, you know how Meta tried doing like those bots that were celebrities, but now they're like contacting celebrities and trying to get their voices. So when you chat to a bot, you'll get the reply from a celebrity like Snoop Dogg or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just think that's just like, I think it's too far. I feel like, no, I think like, I don't know, like that wouldn't encourage me personally to use a bot. I don't know.
Yeah.
Would it encourage you guys?
To use a bot?
If you like got a
for
reply
a laugh
from
for
a
about
celebrity.
2 seconds.
Yeah, and then but I wouldn't seriously want to like have a chat or find stuff out if like the reply was like in like Beyonce's voice or whatever. It would just be so weird.
This almost like came from like the sat nav and like giving you directions.
Yeah,
like
maybe car directions and Snoop Dogg. Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah. Oh, one more point about that. How much can AI actually create? Because AI creates from what is already there, right? But like if you look at really beautiful shot films, like surely you need a creative person.
I can tell you're a videographer.
Yeah, well, he's getting passionate.
I don't want to lose my job, you know, but yeah, I think...
I can tell you like video.
Yeah, AI is not coming for me, guys. But yeah.
So on to the main topic of today, all about Kamala Harris's social media strategy and the brat summer. So obviously Joe Biden has stepped down in the presidential race. And obviously Kamala Harris has announced her presidential run on July the 21st. Racking up millions of views across social media so far. Obviously, what we've noticed at the moment is that it is definitely going for that more youthful audience, that more Gen Z. We're seeing lots of memes fly around, even collaborations, obviously, with Charlie XCX. In particular, that tweet got 3.4 million views as a whole. The campaign spending we've seen, and stats on there, is looking at 2.7 billion this year across both parties and maybe, you know, other independent parties as well, which has never been this amount of money on a presidential race, which makes a lot of sense as year on year or every 4 years, you know, money decreases in value and goes up like that. But obviously, with a lot of this TikTok content, a lot of this meme content that we're seeing from Kamala Harris, one thing that I was thinking of is potentially, you know, it's obviously attracting this Gen Z and more youthful audience, but a lot of them still fall under the legal age to vote within that range. So firstly, is it the right method to get those people on board? And also, does it alienate potentially the older generation, which are, you know, typically the more likely people to go out and vote on the day as well?
I feel like social media, like same with the, I feel like similar happened in our elections recently where it became like so big on social media and their like accounts like, but I think it kind of gives the like candidate more like likability, or like you can relate to them more.
Yeah.
I don't think it necessarily alienates them, because I feel like even talking to my mum, say like in the UK elections, like she didn't really understand what was going on anyway. So she was just like, she went to the more traditional forms, and then it just that added benefit of like young people seeing it, and then you're more relatable to that kind of generation.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I'm loving all the stuff that
it is quite good. I agree completely with you. Like, I feel, I can't speak for everyone, but in general, Gen Z were people who don't really care too much about politics, because I feel like it's very complex. People say they do things and then they don't. I feel like we're very much a generation that sometimes loses hope. So I know definitely in my with my peers, like not a lot of people have actually gone and voted in the last general election. And in the US, Gen Z represent about 21% of the nation. So that it is a huge number. And Gen Z, I mean, we are the future. So I think it's so important what she's doing on social media, because she's making herself more, what's the word, relatable.
Yeah.
I also think because like Biden was an older man, and I feel like that was everyone was like, that was, people were concerned that he was like older and he didn't really appeal to the younger generation. So I think it's good that like, I think straight in the first post they did after she got in was like, or like changed over to her, was the Charlie XCX screenshot.
Yeah.
I see. Actually, I've seen Charlie XCX in my For You page, my feed, a lot more than I've ever done before. I've never really seen her on social, but over the last like month or two, I just see loads of her content. I don't know why. It just she's everywhere. Like quite like, you know, popular and relatable at the moment as well. One thing I was thinking of as well is when it comes down to this as well, obviously Biden had been in the public eye a lot more whilst she was vice president. She obviously didn't have as much media attention as what Biden does as president coming up to this. But now she's obviously at the forefront. It's got that freshness. Kind of everyone knows maybe what Trump says and what he's about. But because she's new, she's fresh, when she's delivering this content, there's like that level of intrigue and curiosity to like learn more. So maybe does that like drive more views and clicks and engagement because you're engaging it almost for the first time and like getting to know her, I guess, through those social clips. And then the other thing that I was thinking of is, I wonder if actually insight is the basis behind this strategy of this like younger audience. I'm not sure if this is correct. It's just my thinking. I was looking at is, obviously there's a lot of like swing states where they might be 50-50. You've obviously got a lot that are red, a lot that are blue, but then a lot down the middle, and which are very close, and maybe every election it can be like a few percentages in that. I wonder if they've done any insight on those states that suggests that actually they've got a higher population of Gen Z, that they're most, you know, on the fence of that particular state. And so maybe she knows she secured certain states, which are always Democrat, but actually with the focus is these states, they've got a high density of Gen Z, they're unsure, and if I can appeal to those, I can swing these particular states and win an overall majority.
I definitely think that, because maybe people from older generations, if they've voted one way their entire life, that it's less likely that they're going to be swayed to vote another way. Whereas younger generations, like I feel like we're more malleable and we're more open to, I guess, change or different ideas, or like challenging the status quo. So I think what she's doing is definitely working, and actually Trump is also taking a similar approach. If we look at his account as well, he's got a similar approach.
Didn't he go on like
Aiden
Logan
Ross.
Paul's? And
he did.
He did a kick stream with Aiden Ross. Yesterday, I think it was, and it had like 500,000 concurrent viewers or something insane.
I think he's also like at like the Bitcoin and crypto, like he's like backing that, and he's at all the conferences as well.
The interesting difference between the two is that I guess Donald Trump's taking more of the like controversial route, where he's got an interview with Elon Musk coming up as well, like big, or like, you know, Logan Paul, like big names that were in lots of controversies over the last few years. Whereas Kamala Harris is doing more of the like Gen Z type of route. Like she's meeting with like basketball players, like famous artists, and getting them to back her.
Yeah. I feel like for me, like her campaign, social campaign is more like relatable. Like it's like she's tapping into like cultural moments or like pop moments that everyone can relate to. Whereas I feel like with Trump, maybe not so much. Like he's like going to like niche, like crypto or whatever. But with her, it's like appealing to everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I guess also for these political parties, it's all about like building for the future. And like you said, capturing the vote now so that they remain with that party for the long term. So when their successor comes around, they've set them up for success as well, and the party as a whole. So lots to think about there.
The social media strategy is really interesting because you've got like reactive content in there, you've got memes, but you've also got like these super high production montages with like epic music in the background. Like if you scroll down her TikTok, there's a mix of everything.
Yeah. Influencer partnerships.
That
they don't get labeled as ads, but maybe they aren't ads. Maybe they're not paid for. Who knows?
I mean, like you say, they've got to generate a lot of money for these campaigns. So.
And the volume that they spend on like Facebook ads, everything else like that. The level of content and like creative production is absolutely insane when it comes to this, and the team sizes, I can only imagine, are just ridiculous when it comes to the size of team required to pump out that much of content and manage that much of
it's just
that
so
budget.
funny because you have that, but then they'll be posting like a screenshot being like Kamala's like a brat, and it's like such a contrast of like the types of content.
And some of that obviously performs the best as well.
Exactly.
So I think it backs up. So with both presidential candidates, you can see with their sort of content strategy and what they put out there on social is, God, they must have a massive creative and like production team and strategy team. And you can see that through the fact that they do, have reactive moments, higher production content, statics, storytelling videos. They have the sort of breadth of, different pieces of content across their strategy. And I think it's interesting when we look at it from like what we do for clients, we very much take that same approach where we have specialists across each area, and then you have, dedicated time for reactive moments, memes, statics, video, storytelling, all across both from a paid and an organic perspective on social.
Yeah, because I read that apparently like Trump in the past is like, I don't think said she's like weak and like, I think criticized her for that. So it's important that she still shows that she's like strong. So she's got like the likability and relatability from like those funny memes.
Yeah.
And then through the more like serious content, people will like actually trust her and like want to vote for her.
Yeah.
Lovely. So that wraps things up, and thank you very much everyone for listening today, and make sure to subscribe wherever you are, whether it's YouTube, Spotify, wherever you are, make sure to subscribe because every week we put these out, giving you an update on everything about social, as well as a few topics in at the end as well. So subscribe and we'll see you again next week.
Thanks.
Thanks.